Welcome to the deep dive. We are continuing our sustained exploration into the architecture of Oliver's upcoming album, A Dawn on the Earth.
And it really is an architecture, isn't it? This isn't just a record.
No, not at all. This whole project, which is slated to drop around his 50th birthday in February 2026, it's proving to be so much more than a collection of songs. It feels like a complete narrative arc.
It's a monumental artistic effort. I mean, he's blending 30 years of his life, his chaos, and all of his hard-won peace into one cohesive statement.
And Oliver has made the album's central mission really clear.
Right, absolutely. It's a retrospective. It spans 3 decades, and it juxtaposes these raw, truly nihilistic time capsules from his 1990s demos with these new, grounded, reflective compositions from 2025.
So we're not just hearing music?
No. We're witnessing an audit of the self. He's measuring the distance traveled from, chaos and despair all the way to stability and survival.
And we've spent the last few deep dives really grappling with the foundation of that early darkness.
We have.
We looked at the terminal despair in the City of Death, the moral surrender in Hey Johnny, and that really exhausted quest for meaning in Where is the Justice?
And those 3 tracks, they really are the psychological basement of this entire album. They set the stage for everything that follows.
So if those 3 tracks represent the profound trauma, the self-declared doom, and the systemic failure of his youth.
Then today, we finally turn the page. We get to look at the dawn.
Exactly. We are diving deep into the sound of that dawn. We're focusing on one of the key new 2025 tracks, Just the Rain.
And this song is a declaration. It offers this powerful, settled snapshot of Oliver's current life, a life that's, anchored by his wife, Dragana, and his daughter, Marina.
The label that was applied to Just the Rain is what immediately drew me in. A Clapton-like blues anthem.
Right.
That signals an immediate and profound pivot. So our mission today is to unpack the sound, the lyrics, and the function of this track. We need to understand how it operates as the ultimate statement of this hard-won applied stability.
Why does he sound so certain now? That's the question.
Yeah. And what does it mean that the sound of his piece is rooted in the enduring, heavy vocabulary of the blues?
To really appreciate Just the Rain, I think we have to first grasp the immense narrative pivot Oliver has undertaken.
Okay, so where are we pivoting from?
Well, if you look back at his debut album, A Night on the Earth, that whole body of work was defined by internal vulnerability.
Right, the broken-hearted love songs, very inward-looking.
Very inward-looking. It was a continuous, exhausting cycle of self-diagnosis and betrayal. It was a story told entirely from within the struggle.
Yeah, the narrator in those songs was like a gravitational sinkhole.
Yeah.
He was either attracting chaos or, generating it himself.
Absolutely. And his attempts at stability were so fragile, almost violent at times.
I'm thinking of that line from You're My Home, the one about putting chains on my soul so it won't run away.
Exactly. It's agonizing. The internal battle just consumed all of his energy.
So what's different now?
Now, in the material for A Dawn on the Earth, we see a character who has achieved a kind of a functional stability.
And the album description backs that up. It says it's more of a look into the world, into anxiety, maturing, and finding true love and peace, finding hope.
He's matured past just focusing on fixing his own internal wreckage.
He's redirecting his focus. So he's taking the strength he's acquired and, applying it outward, protecting this new shared reality.
That's it, exactly. The new compositions, just The Rain, Lone and Simple Life, Fighting to the Night, they all explicitly featured lyrical affirmations meant for Dragana and Marina.
And that defines the new emotional gravity of the entire album.
It's a huge shift from what I call transactional love, which was, often the theme of his early songs.
What do you mean by transactional?
Well, love is a desperate cure for loneliness or trauma. Save me from myself, that kind of thing.
Right, I get you.
Now it's relational love. It serves as a shared, fortified foundation. This stable love is celebrated as an achievement, something built over time, not something he just stumbled upon.
And Oliver's really forcing this contrast on us, isn't he? The contrast between the writing dates it's jarring, but it's brilliant.
It is brilliant. You have the foundational chaos of the young, nihilistic self. Those 3 demos written in 95, 96, filled with doom and moral failure.
And they are placed directly next to the core of the stable self.
Which is the majority of the track list.
Yeah.
All this new material written in 2025.
It's saving a victory then.
It has to be. By dedicating most of his new creative output to his present stable reality, Oliver is confirming where his emotional and spiritual anchor lies now.
So the chaos of the 90s gets reframed.
It's retroactively framed, not as a permanent state, but as the necessary ground zero. It's the furnace where the current strength was forged.
The fact that he transitioned from that terminal isolation, I mean, that feeling of being 3 million miles east of nothing to a life anchored by these commitments is the entire point of the album.
It is. The structure itself, placing the young chaos right alongside the mature stability, acts as the ultimate memoir.
Okay, so that brings us to the sound. Let's talk about this Clapton-like blues anthem description.
Yes, this is a crucial technical and sonic element. We have to analyze what that genre choice implies, both philosophically and musically, because it is an enormous pivot from the heavy metal and raw country blues of his past.
So blues suggests endurance, experience, hardship, the vocabulary of a man who has paid his dues. But what does the Clapton-like part add to that?
That's the key modifier. Clapton's style, particularly his later work, is defined by a certain fluid restraint. It's a focus on emotional tone and melody over just pure technical flash.
So when you say Clapton, you're invoking maturity.
Exactly. You're not necessarily talking about the white-hot virtuosity of the Cream era. It's more likely the weathered, introspective, and commercially resonant blues of the late 70s or maybe the Unplugged era.
So the song structure itself is probably more refined.
It suggests a focus on the song itself and the tone of the guitar, often warm, mid-heavy, and singing as the primary vehicle for emotion.
So musically, this means the song likely moves past the raw, almost self-pitying lament of the simple 12-bar structures he used in tracks like 3 Million Miles.
Oh, absolutely. That song with its heavy, swaying 68 rhythm, it conveyed this defeated, trudging sensation. You could feel him dragging his feet.
Whereas a Clapton-like anthem is probably built around a powerful driving 44 or a more asserted, steady rhythm.
And the word anthem is the other sonic modifier here. A blues song is typically personal, often sorrowful.
But an anthem is for power, assertion, shared strength.
Precisely. To make a blues track an anthem, you have to inject it with hope. A powerful, memorable melodic hook in the chorus, and potentially a much fuller arrangement.
So if we're speculating on the instrumentation, what are we thinking?
We're probably talking about rich electric tones, maybe a classic Fender or Gibson sound, something that carries that experience in its tone. It would imply a band working in lockstep.
A powerful rhythm section creating this assured momentum?
Pushing forward, which contrasts starkly with that previous feeling of being stuck in quicksand.
That forward momentum.
Something like that.
That has to be the key psychological insight.
It is. In the blues, the character usually sits in the lament. But in a blues anthem, the character is acknowledging the lament, but using that experience as the fuel to declare survival.
So the song is defiant.
It's completely defiant. It's a powerful structure that really only a composer with decades of lived experience can truly forge. He's not just singing about his personal survival, he's declaring the couple's shared triumph, backed by a sound that feels both heavy with history and completely assured in its direction.
It's the sound of someone who finally understands that stability is an active choice. It's a commitment that requires continuous strength, but now he has the musical vocabulary to express that strength powerfully.
Yes. He's moved from that fragile hour-by-hour commitment of "for another day" to a definitive, enduring musical declaration in "Just the Rain."
The structure itself affirms the durability of the stability he's found.
As we move into the lyrics, the first thing "Just the Rain" does is it fundamentally reestablishes the nature of the challenge. And this is crucial for understanding the narrator's recovered agency.
How so?
The threat is external, not internal. And that is a profound pivot from the self-sabotage that plagued his younger self.
The opening lines set that stage immediately, don't they? There is a shadow brewing in west. It's coming slowly to place where we stand.
See, that shadow is not a ghost from the past. It's not the narrator's own destructive impulse. It is a defined geographical external threat.
We should probably pause on the geography brewing in west.
We should. Given Oliver's background and the geopolitical context that shaped his early music in the 1990s, that whole post-Yugoslavia milieu, that phrasing carries an undeniable weight.
It could be systemic or geopolitical anxiety.
It could.
I wonder, though, if that risks oversimplifying the metaphor. Is he referencing a literal political threat, or is he using that kind of geopolitical phrasing? That feeling of a massive external pressure as a way to personify just generalized existential anxiety?
I think it's both. And that's the genius of the maturity here.
Okay, go on.
In the 1990s, the darkness felt internal because he felt responsible for the systemic failures around him. The nihilism of City of Death, was the result of internalized external doom.
Right, he took it all on himself.
Now he faces that doom from fortified position. The shadow is outside, which allows the couple to unify against it. He has finally conquered the worst enemy, himself, and that allows him to face the world.
That structural distinction is paramount. By externalizing the shadow, Oliver is basically saying that the relationship has achieved such profound internal integrity that its energy can now be channeled outward for defense.
Exactly. The ghosts that haunted him in For Another Day, that internalized chaos, and the whole I've hurt you again mentality of you're my home, they're subdued now.
The external rain is the primary concern.
And this leads directly to the core of the song's confidence, which is captured in that utterly dismissive refrain.
He reduces the severity of the threat with this, almost a defiant parental reassurance. It's just the rain falling down. It's only rain. We'll wait for the sun.
That is a complete psychological rupture from his past.
Oh, for sure. Contrast that waiting with the agonizing, desperate plea in 3 Million Miles, where he was lost in hell, waiting for a dawn to come.
That was a passive, futile hope for rescue.
Or even in Laughing in the Rain, where the betrayal made his defiance hollow and left him crying in the vein.
Here, the waiting for the sun is active, it's grounded, and it is absolutely certain. He is not praying for the dawn to rescue him. He knows the sun is coming, because that is the immutable law of the world.
He's shifted his posture. He's gone from a passive victim seeking salvation to an assertive survivor who knows the duration of the storm is finite.
And the source material gives us the hard-earned wisdom that validates this confidence. It is nothing new we can survive that we can't survive.
Wow. That single couplet implies the couple has already weathered crises that would have objectively broken them if they hadn't had each other.
It's the ultimate affirmation of hard-won durability.
And it forces us, as listeners, to connect this current rain to the true catastrophic storms from his earlier work.
That's what the line, "We've known the clouds darker than these," does. It serves as a retrospective validation of every piece of emotional turmoil Oliver has documented over 30 years.
So we have to ask, what was the darkest cloud?
It was undoubtedly the nihilistic pit of the city of death.
Yeah. Where the narrator surrendered all hope, declaring only the pain is here to live, and that freedom was only found in the absence of the struggle to be better.
If he survived that state, a self-declared terminal psychological and spiritual crisis where dying's just another day, then a mere external shadow and some rain are, in fact, nothing new.
The past darkness is the yardstick, and the current challenge is measured and found wanting.
He has functional proof that his capacity to endure is greater than any external adversity.
I do wonder, though, if this confidence risks sounding, I don't know, complacent. Is he truly dismissing the threat, or is the dismissiveness itself an act of psychological defense?
That's a great question.
It's not that the shadow isn't dangerous, but maybe that the couple chooses to reduce its power by saying, we've seen worse.
I think it's applied wisdom, not complacency. It's the difference between fear and respect. He respects the storm, which is why he mentions the shadow brewing, but he is not afraid of it because he knows the resilience of his internal fortress.
Right. Think of 3 Million Miles again.
That was a total collapse of internal resolve. He was lost in hell, fighting ghosts that were winning.
Now, the challenge is physical and external, not existential and psychological. He is no longer fighting ghosts alone. He is facing rain alongside his partner.
And even the metaphor of rain itself has undergone this profound transformation. In his early work, rain often signified wasted effort or sadness linked to betrayal.
But in just the rain is purified of that emotional baggage.
It's simply a temporary state of affairs to be endured with shared patience. When he says, we can weather throughout this weather, he implies that their internal bond is now the mechanism for stability.
It's strong enough to counteract the external environment's unpredictability.
He is no longer looking for external proof of his relationship's worth. He's grounded, internal, and certain.
And this grounding is the ultimate expression of applied maturity. He is using the wisdom gained from decades of struggle, the realization that true external certainty is impossible, to find peace in the one thing that is certain, the absolute reciprocal commitment of his partnership.
Which brings us to part 3. The song's structure moves so logically from acknowledging that external threat to outlining the internal defense mechanism.
The mandate of mutual protection.
Exactly. And it's revealed through this beautiful transition in the lyrics, illustrating the narrator's recovery of strength, immediately followed by the recognition that this strength has to be shared.
Let's start with his initial assertion of individual strength. This is so vital for someone who spent so much of his younger life feeling completely dependent or broken.
It is, he states. I am ready. I'm here to protect you. For now, there's no need to lend me your hand.
That phrase is a monumental declaration of recovered masculine agency.
It's huge. He is claiming the capability to defend, a confidence that was structurally absent when we first met this character. It's proof that the fight mandate, that moral imperative he failed to follow in Hey Johnny, has been internalized.
And we have to contrast this with the abject dependency of the younger self. In You're My Home, during an internal crisis, he was going down and pleading.
Will you catch me tonight? Will you make me go back?
Yeah. His younger self was incapable of self-rescue. He had to outsource his survival.
And the adult Oliver is now asserting his ability to defend the partnership. It proves that the previous dependence was a temporary necessary phase of healing, not a permanent character flaw.
The narrator has become the anchor he once sought.
But, and this is the maturity of the track, it prevents this from becoming a boast of solitary strength. The narrator immediately pivots from, I am ready, to recognizing mutual reliance.
I know you'll be there to protect us. You can protect us from something like this.
That shift from I will protect you to you will protect us is the definition of a mature, functional partnership. It's a shared capacity.
So he's acknowledging that while he might be ready to face the physical, external fight,
His partner provides the specific psychological stabilizing force that's required to ward off the more insidious threats, the emotional echoes of the past.
and the strength of this foundation gets cemented even further in the language of mutual ownership.
Which starkly contrasts with the fragile, conditional nature of commitment in A Night on the Earth.
He says, we can get through this because you are mine. That's his commitment. And it's followed by the immediate reciprocal truth from the partner. We can go through this because I am yours.
This mutual, secure belonging is the ultimate expression of freedom for the adult Oliver. It replaces that forced, exhausting self-containment we saw before.
The putting chains on my soul so it won't align again.
Yes, that was forced restraint, a desperate attempt to lock himself into stability against his own chaotic nature.
The chains are gone.
The chains are gone. He is yours. Tethered by reciprocal commitment, not held by force. This is a profound redefinition of freedom for him.
The nihilistic young Oliver believed freedom was found in chaos or isolation, in the absence of accountability.
The mature Oliver realizes that true stability, peace, and freedom are found through mutual belonging and chosen accountability.
And the partnership is also defined as a navigational tool, right? A critical source of clarity and direction.
Which is essential for a man who spent decades feeling lost. He affirms, you can shield our home the way that it is, and then, crucially, you keep us steady right on our course.
So the partner is the reliable reference point. She's the stability provider.
Resisting the disorientation that defined his past. Contrast this with the utter confusion of his younger self, who was lost in hell in 3 million miles, pleading for no one here to point the way.
Now she is the entire navigational system.
She's keeping them steady right on our course, which means she is resisting the inherent chaos of the external world. That unpredictable collapse that he worried about in the younger track, I really don't know when this guy's going to fall.
So he's saying unequivocally the world is still chaotic.
But she's the constant that ensures they do not drift into the void.
This is more than just love. It's like shared engineering. It solidifies the idea that the dawn promised in the album title isn't a single beautiful moment, but a continuous reality built on shared, stable commitment.
He's moved past needing to be saved from the dark to trusting his co-pilot to maintain the course, even when the shadow is brewing and the rain is falling.
Which brings us to the climax of the song, the imagery of standing back to back.
Yes. The song accelerates toward its philosophical climax here, painting this powerful visual and philosophical statement. When we're facing life, just standing back to back, no, there is nothing to break us apart.
Standing back to back is the physical manifestation of that complete mutual reliance. It implies a unified 360-degree defense against all external threats.
Each partner protects the other's vulnerability, their blind spot. It is a profoundly defiant, active stance against the chaos.
And crucially, a complete rejection of the self-imposed isolation that defined his youth.
We have to emphasize that contrast. The young Oliver of the 1990s enforced solitude. The narrator of The City of Death believed he had to die alone in his isolated terminal home.
And Johnny self-destructed. He pushed away the one person who could have saved him.
Whereas the mature Oliver defines his maximum strength not in solitude, but in the absolute commitment to a unified, defended front.
And the finality of that phrase, Nothing to break us apart. It feels like it resolves the central anxiety of A Night on the Earth.
It does. The questioning, the waiting, the fear, it was all rooted in the terror that connection was fragile or illusory or conditional. This declaration is a mature, absolute refutation of every past fear of abandonment or betrayal.
And this sustained resilience, this defiant posture, it connects directly back to that core philosophical lesson he learned the hard way.
The fight mandate from the epitaph in Hey Johnny,
All that every man can do is fight as long as he can.
and the young Johnny chose chemical escape and moral surrender. But the new track, Just the Rain, is the sound of the continuous fighting finally paying off.
So Oliver chose the difficult, continuous trudge over surrender.
He did, and the narrator is still in the fight, but now he is fortified. The stability found with Dragana and Marina is the direct, decades-later proof that he chose the fight mandate over fatalism.
This is not accidental stability. It is earned.
It is the earned result of 3 decades of perseverance against self-destruction, chaos, and systemic injustice. The couple standing back-to-back is the ultimate visual victory over the terminal fatalism of the City of Death.
Okay, now we have to talk about what might be the most poignant and complex lyrical moment in the song.
The Declaration of Redemption.
Woven into the final repetition of the refrain. It is only rain, sins washing down.
This line is a profound theological and psychological statement. It suggests a moment of emotional cleansing and absolution that the narrator has been chasing for decades.
And it moves far past the specific deceit of the life and lies game.
Oh, way past that. And past the general self-destructive habits, the drinking, the running, the emotional cruelty that plagued his earlier persona.
I have to ask, though, what exactly does he mean by sins? We know the sins were things like a failure of accountability, the lies he confessed to speaking in You're My Home, the moral abdication in Hey Johnny.
All of that. And to have those things washed away suggests he has finally processed and moved past that internal shame.
But what's crucial is that this absolution is secular. It isn't achieved through divine intervention or a sudden spiritual awakening.
No, the forgiveness comes through human commitment, the enduring adversity of life, the rain that is external and inevitable, is repurposed into a positive, almost sacramental mechanism.
So the hardship itself is what cleanses him.
It is cleansing the shame and trauma of the past, leaving a clean slate for the future with his family.
The implication there is heavy. If the enduring hardship of life is what facilitates this cleansing, then the past pain and struggle were not just meaningless suffering.
They were necessary prerequisites for the strength that allowed him to commit, which in turn allows for the absolution. He is only redeemed because he endured and because he committed.
So it's the ultimate acceptance of his flaws while simultaneously claiming redemption.
Exactly. He is acknowledging his history, his lies, his failures, but he is asserting that the strength and continuity of his current commitment is powerful enough to provide the forgiveness he could never grant himself when he was isolated.
The vulnerability required to stand back to back and be truly known. That's what washes the sins away.
And this realization retrospectively justifies the entire 30-year journey. The chaos and pain were necessary because surviving them and committing through them is what earned him this peace.
So the sins aren't forgotten.
No, but they are functionally neutralized by the magnitude of his current love and resilience.
This allows the artist to finally conclude his internal narrative cycle. He transitioned from being defined by deceit and self-loathing, the need to use chains to restrain himself, to being defined by mutual vulnerability and shared strength.
This is the ultimate sound of peace, and it's a peace that is earned, functional, and actively maintained.
So we can now synthesize how Just the Rain functions. It's not just another song, it's the definitive thematic counterpoint to the nihilistic opening tracks on A Dawn on the Earth.
It defines the album's title as a reality built on stable, applied commitment, not merely an aspiration.
The new life embodied in this track is completely focused on his family, on Dragana and Marina. It's a constant, steady focus on hope, peace, and surviving current life.
Fulfilling the stated goal of finding true love and peace, it's the absolute antithesis of the lonely, lost cowboy riding 3 million miles west of nothing.
And the song's inherent confidence, its assertion that nothing to break us apart, it retroactively frames the deep chaos of the 1990s tracks as the necessary ground zero for his current strength.
He survived the City of Death and the slippery slope of Hey Johnny to stand here today, fortified back to back. He broke out of his self-proclaimed prison of despair.
So Oliver's 30-year narrative progression is complete.
Absolutely. He moved from terminal despair and isolation, feeling like just a shadow of a light in 3 million miles, to mutual commitment, declaring, "I am yours," and the certainty of survival. We can weather throughout this weather.
The album, therefore, becomes a comprehensive testament to applied wisdom. The narrator learned the moral imperative to fight from Johnny's failure.
And he learned that stability is an active, demanding choice from the struggle documented in You're My Home.
Just the rain is the declaration that he is still choosing that struggle, but now with a resilient, permanent anchor.
And notice the change in language. Where his younger tracks focused on specific interpersonal flaws and betrayals, here he focuses on generalized external adversity.
The shadow brewing in West.
He's no longer consumed by parsing the minute mechanics of past failures. He is focused on the immediate, shared future.
It represents the complete closure of the core emotional conflicts that defined his youth. The fear that love was transactional.
Resolved by the absolute mutual commitment, "I am yours and you are mine."
The fear that commitment was fragile. The just another day mentality.
Is resolved by the certainty that they will protect their home the way that it is until the end. This is what the dawn sounds like.
So after all that,
We've seen Oliver transition from finding his only true home in the terminal despair and isolation of the city of death to declaring his home is a person, his wife, who keeps them steady right on our course.
it's powerful.
This song is the sound of an artist who finally stopped running, stopped questioning, and decided to fortify his position, not alone, but in absolute mutual trust. This is hard-won, applied maturity set to a driving, confident blues rhythm.
Okay, so we're left with this deep realization. Just the rain suggests that true stability isn't found in the absence of trouble. The shadow is still brewing, the rain is still falling, life is still hard.
It always will be.
Instead, stability is the absolute certainty of the partnership. It's standing back to back, unified, and knowing that, based on their shared history, nothing new can break them apart.
It is the ultimate rejection of his younger self's fatalism. He moved away from seeking freedom in nihilistic isolation, that absence of the struggle to be better, to finding strength in interdependence and commitment.
Which brings us to the final provocative thought for you, the listener. If the trauma-ridden young Oliver defined freedom as ending the fight, does the adult Oliver's commitment to continuous mutual protection, saying, "I will protect us until the end," suggest that true freedom and peace are found not in ending the fight, but in choosing the right person to fight alongside?
Is stability defined by the certainty of the companion, not the certainty of the weather?
We'll see how this maturity plays out in the other 2025 songs on A Dawn on the Earth as we continue our deep dive next time. Until then, keep digging.